Hello, friends. It's the Cinemondo podcast. Kathy and Mark and me,
Hello.
Burke, talking about movies. I put movies in categories, and I wrote this book where there are different categories of book, by the way, which you can purchase on Amazon.
It's a book about movies from a man who knows his movies.
And I put them in categories. I have these categories, like different types of films that I like. But there's one category that I don't have in here, and that is war films, war movies. And even though there's quite a few really good war movies. I mean, you look at Paths of Glory, you look at, there's so many incredible films about war because war is such a dramatic, like overwhelmingly dramatic situation in so many cases. It's desperate. It's life and death. It's people put in situations that they're not familiar. It's everything. It's got so many elements. It's the most horrible thing humans do to each other, and yet we're fascinated by it.
Yeah.
Well, it's such an extreme experience that most of us never actually see. That means a huge part of the population does, and they're being devastated by it, but it's like we have a lot of films being made by, people who are really smart and do good films. And I mean, I've seen a lot of great war movies. They're really hard for me because I love horror movies, but when I see war, it's almost too much.
It's real horror.
It's the real horror. Yeah.
And then you're like, you can't escape. It's like, it's so hard to watch this.
And a lot of them are based on real stories.
Yeah.
You think like Zero Dark 30, which I think this film that we're going to talk about has a lot in common because it is about the Afghanistan war.
Oh, one of the worst.
And this one is by written and co-directed by Ray Mendoza, who really lived through it. And this is a real story this is a real situation that he lived through as a soldier. And it's also co-directed by Alex Garland, who's one of our favorite filmmakers.
Oh my God, the best.
And it's an A24 film called Warfare. And it's coming out. Oh gosh, I had the date and now I lost it. Please keep talking while I find it.
Oh, well, we'll find the date. The
sad thing about it is the fact that there's certain parts of the world where this is everybody does experience this every day. There's certain places in the world where warfare is
kind of a daily
you wake up and go to sleep and you're at war, and
you hope you don't get shot at or a bomb falls on your building or whatever. April 11th is the release date. And what's interesting about this film, it's a real-time film. So it's shot, the movie's 94 minutes. So it's 94 minutes of this experience of this troop in Afghanistan. That's kind of all I know about it. But I love movies like that when it feels like you're part of that group trying to get out. So
you get a sense of the processes and things like that, like how long it takes to do a certain thing. Like one thing about there's a series out now we're going to talk about later called Adolescence, where you see in the first episode you see somebody get arrested, and you see the process of what it is to get arrested. And I imagine in a war film you see. I mean, if it's in real time, I don't know if it's a single shot kind of thing, but real time kind of thing, you perhaps get a sense of how long it takes to do certain things and what's involved in doing, the work of war, because it's a lot of work.
And just think about it, just like an hour and a half. Imagine, months and months of this over and over. It's just like, oh my God.
So, all right, let's check it out. Warfare.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
How's it going?
Going well.
That's that new guy energy.
Oh, he's back. That's the fourth fucking time he's done that.
So you're peeking at probing?
Peeking with serious intent to probe.
Alpha 2, we might have guys starting to move in our position.
Copy, we're getting a buildup of activity here too.
Yeah, I definitely see weapons at this point.
Yeah, we have definite massing.
Redman 08, this is Profane. We're seeing activity converging to your north and south.
This is Frogman 6 Romeo. We need evac at our last known position. We have severely wounded. Who's the severely wounded? It's not you. It's me. Who is it? No, it's not you. No, it isn't.
Copy 1, we're in contact 2.
You coming to you or you coming to us?
Stand by. We'll let you know when we're inbound. Let's move!
Here's the plan.
EA 5 minutes, over.
The scouts are gonna lead us out, and I'm bringing up the rear. Pop smoke. Smoke out. We are all coming back.
OP1, they are en route to you.
3 minutes out! 3 minutes! Eyes on me and only me. Has anyone looked at you?
I'm fucked up.
2 minutes out! 2 minutes!
Where are you guys?
Look for the blood and the smoke.
Multiple bad guys trying to get to our position. Inbound! Inbound! Find cover! Oh my God! 1 minute out! We have enemy on our building and all surrounding buildings.
Roger that, stand by. Going hot.
You gotta get ready, man. This is gonna hurt.
On my count. 1, 2, 3.
I don't think I was breathing through that entire thing.
I know that's
Oh my
intense.
God.
That looks like I can kind of tell this is going to be one of those sweaty palm movies where you're like, oh, the whole time.
What I like about it though is that it looks like what I really want to see in war movies, which maybe I don't want to see, is that it's going to be super accurate because this guy lived it. Like he knows it. He's been in it. So to actually see a war film that actually is really happening the way it really happens, because there's a lot of liberties taken, you know.
Yeah.
And even when they're being real, I feel like, you know, what I liked about this, just even hearing like the constant communication with the outside and how they're coordinating, like just hearing that, and you think, oh, they've got it all handled. But when they hear something saying we're inbound, it's going to be this amount of time, and the people in the building are going, oh shit, we're not going to.
Yeah.
Like they know instantly what's going to happen. Where we're like, oh, they sound organized. There's help along the way. You know,
Right.
I love that we're going to see that. And also there's so much good talent in this. I love Quinn. Amazing. He stole Stranger Things. I didn't know who he was. He was up against a lot of known characters. And when he appeared in Stranger Things, I was like, who is this guy? And where did he come from? And he's my favorite character of all time.
And Will Poulter's in it, who you see.
Oh yeah,
before. He's always good. He's a British.
He's always
actor.
really good, and he shows up in so much that he was in the Guardians of the Galaxy film as Adam Warlock, and if you remember, he was in Midsommar.
Yes,
that's right.
He was the jerky friend who pees on the sacred tree.
All things go south after that.
Yeah.
And Michael Gandolfini is in that too.
Yeah,
but he's
so good.
So kind of a really good cast, and with Alex Garland sort of being around to help out with the directing, I think you're going to add that.
Yeah,
it just looked even the way they held their guns. You know, sometimes it just seemed like this is exactly how soldiers react and how they sort of have to deal with that kind of situation.
And the camera work was great because it felt like you're in there with them as a character. And so I love they didn't try and make it too dramatic. Like you feel like you're there witnessing. It's not so much like big soaring, you know, a little bit of that. But I feel like we're seeing it from like either a plane's view or something. It just looks stunning. Stunning.
Yeah, it looks pretty intense. And,
so
and having, you know, I was a prop dude for a big chunk of my life. And when you look at things like you were just saying, the way they hold the guns, there's so much involved in getting things right in movies like this, because it's not like Game of Thrones where you have people using weapons and you can kind of invent a new style of sword play, or you can invent a style of fighting, or you can invent, you know, technology in Star Wars or whatever. But in this kind of movie, there are people who are going to go see this movie who went through that and have gone through the training and know how to do that. So you have to get it right, because there's an implication of a kind of lack of respect for what people like this do if you don't take the time to get what they do right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think that goes such a long way when you make sure that you get it right and you show what these people go through and what they have to endure and what their training trains them to do. They're not just a bunch of dudes over there slinging guns around. These are highly trained people who are in a really heavy duty life and death not just of themselves, but of everyone around them, life and death situation. And you have to show that in a way that rings true, even if you've never done it yourself.
Kind of like intention.
Yeah.
Like how you hold a gun with intent, being trained and knowledgeable.
And like where you put your thumb and everything is so important, and how how you aim and how, so important.
Well, since Ray Mendoza was an Iraqi veteran, it's mostly his memory. He's going to make sure it's 100% accurate, because he's not going to sort of, do anything.
I'm sure he was there consulting and saying, no, you need to do that. And you know what else I'll bet you, because I've been through this before, is I'll bet everybody on the crew and everybody in the cast had to go through a certain amount of weapons training, because this is a big weapons film, and weapons are such an issue on set, as we all know.
Right.
There's major issues whenever you have weapons on a set, especially when you're using blanks or any kind of explosives or pyro on the set. There's so much that's involved in keeping that safe. And
wow.
Whenever you see a film, whenever I see a film like this, I see so much going on behind the scenes, and so much safety and so much training in the crew as well as the cast and everybody. I think everybody on this film probably had to go through firearms training and safety, tons of safety training. Of course, everybody. I still have to go through safety training in my job. I still have to learn how to be safe on a set, even though I don't spend a lot of time on sets anymore these days. But to stay in the union, to stay current, I have to go through.
You never know.
Training, firearms
on the set.
Right. But that's coming out April 11th, and it looks really intense. And it's A24. It's Alex Garland, great cast. So Warfare poster. You have to be. Cool. That's pretty wild.
That's really creepy. Is he alive?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering.
It looks like he's got a wound on his. He looks like the guy they're carrying out, kind of.
Maybe.
Really scary. And then we have, they have the orange is the color hit on all of these, so they're kind of popping it. So they'll probably have, this is a character cell, so they probably have one for everybody.
Yeah, sure. I'll bet you.
This is a sniper. His name is Brock. So we have Evan Holtzman. So I haven't found all the character cells, but I'd love to go see all of these. And then we have kind of the big, yay, we're going into war, we're gonna kick ass.
Right.
Looks like that other one might be a zoom in on this shot.
It's probably gonna be just each character pulled out.
Group shot.
Yeah. So also I liked in this movie how they did the countdown together. Like that was like they're almost like they're psyched. They're like 3 minutes, 2 minutes. It's so good. So I'm seeing things I haven't seen before, and that's just a trailer. Like it's pretty great. So we're looking forward to it.
Looks like it's gonna be kind of contained and sort of one of those things where you're close and you get to know these people, and it's you're gonna have some sad moments, I'll bet you, and
maybe no music. I don't know if there was music in that, but maybe it's just like there's no music. The intensity is the warfare that you're actually going to hear.
Sometimes no music can work. Music can add intensity, but the lack of music can also add intensity.
It can. Right. It's funny. I feel like there's like almost like not a backlash, but like when you mentioned that music, I remember thinking of that show, The Pit, that's become this big hit on Max. It's like a medical show, which is like, who cares, right? But it's like medical show on Max where you can show anything. So they don't have to worry about, not showing, things that you see in medical, but there's no music. And it's kind of like interesting. There's no music, no shenanigans. So it's like, it feels like it's we're in a hospital of professionals. This is what we're doing. And they just show you the shit. And it's like interesting how spare and how intense it can be without music, almost to distract you that you're watching a movie. Like, that's why I love that idea. That I'm interested that you notice that, because when you're in a room with them, I like when they start off kind of mellow, and then they're kind of like, we're just waiting. All of a sudden it starts ramping up. There's no music kind of going dun 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 dun.
Right.
Right.
Pretty
You're
cool.
not being told how to feel.
Right. Exactly. There's no musical cues. Yeah.
Alex Garland is so good. Like, he's just smart. I feel like we're seeing very smart.
Retired. Didn't he say he was retiring after
Well, he
Civil
said he
War?
only wanted to write instead of direct, but
maybe he sort of like was overseeing this, because Ray Mendoza sort of, his story, he was just making sure it was done in the right manner. It's always a good person to have on.
I think
he'll come back. Maybe he'll direct.
That he was like, this is it. I'm not doing this anymore. He's like, maybe I'll do a little bit more. I don't know. He's too young to give up. I don't want him to.
He'll come back.
But you know what? I kind of know how that feels, where you do something that's so draining and so intense and so mind-bogglingly huge, and you're like, I can't do that anymore.
Right.
I can't. And then I'm retiring from this, and then after some time passes, and you're like,
I'm a filmmaker. I think I like doing it.
You feel that way after every podcast. Like, oh my God, we gave it our all. I have nothing left.
Oh, it's so hard.
Okay, everybody.
The podcast, you know, it's
Don't you
so
think?
hard. Those guys in Afghanistan, they don't know.
No, they don't know what we go through.
They don't know what we go through.
Soldiers. So yeah, be sure to let us know what you think. Subscribe, like, and comment. Buy Burke's book. You will not regret it.
Absolutely. Do buy it. There it is.
Oh, there it is. It just showed up. It was just passing through.
Also buy a t-shirt. You'll see them below.
And
I know we're selling shit right now.
We're selling shit. God damn it. Okay. Take
All right.
care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.